Imagine this. You're starving. Not, I skipped lunch starving. Not, the delivery app says, another 20 minutes starving. Real starving. The kind where your stomach has been empty for 2 days. Your body is slowing down. Your thoughts are getting fuzzy. Every calorie suddenly matters. Now imagine someone hands you a raw steak. Cold. Bloody. Still covered in bits of fur. No grill. No stove. No seasoning. No knife. No fire. Just meat. Would you eat it? You probably wouldn't. Most people today can barely imagine biting into raw muscle straight from an animal. It feels wrong, unsafe, almost disgusting. And yet, for millions of years, that's exactly what our ancestors had to do. Which raises an obvious question. What did humans actually eat before they discovered fire? Because cooking feels so fundamental to being human that it's hard to imagine life without it. No roasted meat. No soup, no bread, no coffee, no baked potatoes, no barbecue, no pizza, no chocolate chip cookies cooling on a kitchen counter, nothing. Just whatever nature happened to offer exactly as it existed. Could humans really survive like that? Or were we something completely different before fire changed everything? The answer turns out to rewrite almost every assumption we have about the earliest human diet. Because before humans mastered fire, they weren't eating like us. They weren't even eating like predators. In many ways, they were eating like opportunists. Let's go. First, we need to clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about early humans. Movies love showing prehistoric people chasing mammoths every afternoon and dragging enormous carcasses back to camp. It makes for great cinema. It's also wildly misleading. For most of human evolution, meat was difficult, dangerous, unpredictable. Early hominins weren't apex predators. They didn't have claws. They didn't have fangs. They couldn't outrun antelope. They couldn't overpower buffalo. Compared to lions or hyenas, they were almost embarrassingly underqualified for hunting large animals. So what did they do? They ate almost anything. Fruit, berries, leaves, seeds, roots, tubers, nuts, eggs, insects, lizards, small rodents, shellfish, birds. Honey whenever they could find it. And, sometimes, the leftovers from another predator's meal. This is one of the strangest parts of our evolutionary history. Many anthropologists believe early members of the genus Homo spent enormous amounts of time scavenging. Imagine a lion finishing its meal. The pride leaves. Hyenas arrive. They crack the biggest bones. Eventually, even they move on. Hours later, our ancestors show up. Not to hunt, to clean up. Because inside those massive bones was something incredibly valuable. Bone marrow. A dense source of fat and calories that almost no other scavenger could fully access once the bones were cracked. Using simple stone tools, early humans could smash open bones and reach nutrition that would otherwise remain trapped. It wasn't glamorous, but evolution doesn't reward dignity. It rewards survival. Now here's something even more surprising. Raw meat wasn't necessarily the biggest challenge. Plants were. That sounds backwards. Today we think vegetables are the healthy option. Easy, safe, natural. But wild plants are nothing like supermarket vegetables. Many are toxic. Others are so fibrous they're almost impossible to digest. Some contain compounds that actively interfere with nutrient absorption. Others can make you violently ill. Learning what you could eat, and more importantly what you absolutely could not, was one of the most important survival skills imaginable. A mistake wasn't unpleasant. It could be fatal. This knowledge wasn't written down. There were no field guides, no warning labels. It had to be remembered, taught, repeated, passed from one generation to the next through observation and storytelling. Long before humans invented writing, they were already building libraries. Those libraries just happened to exist inside people's minds. Now, let's talk about chewing. Because this is where the story becomes almost unbelievable. Chimpanzees spend around 6 hours every day chewing food. Gorillas spend even longer. Why? Because raw plant material is incredibly tough. It's packed with cellulose, fibers that primates can process only with enormous effort. Early humans faced the same problem. Before cooking, every meal demanded work. Not hunting, not gathering, chewing. Your jaw muscles were constantly active. Your teeth experienced incredible wear. In fact, fossil teeth from early hominins often show extreme abrasion from a lifetime of grinding hard foods mixed with tiny particles of grit and dust. Eating wasn't a quick break between activities. It was one of the activities. Hours every day disappeared into processing food with your own mouth. Which raises another question. If raw food required so much effort, why didn't humans simply evolve bigger jaws like gorillas? Because something else happened instead. Something that may be the single most important technological breakthrough in human history: fire. Most people think cooking simply makes food taste better. That's true. But evolution couldn't care less about flavor. Cooking changes biology. Heat breaks down connective tissue in meat. It softens tough plant fibers. It gelatinizes starch. It destroys many harmful microorganisms. It makes calories dramatically easier to extract. The food itself begins doing part of the digestive work before it even enters your body. And that changes everything. The evolutionary anthropologist Richard Wrangham has argued that cooking was so transformative it helped make us human, not symbolically, literally. According to the cooking hypothesis, once our ancestors began regularly cooking food, they gained access to substantially more usable energy from exactly the same ingredients. More calories, less chewing, less digestion, more energy left over for something incredibly expensive: the brain. Your brain uses roughly 20% of your body's resting energy, despite making up only about 2% of your body weight. It's astonishingly costly tissue. Cooking may have helped pay that bill. As food became easier to digest, jaws gradually became smaller. Teeth shrank. The digestive tract became shorter. Meanwhile, the brain expanded. Instead of investing energy into processing food, humans began investing it into thinking, into language, planning, cooperation, technology, culture. In a strange way, your smartphone might trace its origins back to someone who first held meat over a fire. But here's something people rarely ask. Could modern humans survive on a completely raw prehistoric diet? Technically, yes. Comfortably? Probably not. You would spend far more time eating. You would struggle to consume enough calories. Many foods that seem perfectly normal today would become almost impossible to digest efficiently. And some simply wouldn't exist. No bread, no pasta, no rice, no cooked beans, no roasted potatoes, no cheese, no yogurt, no coffee, no tea, no chocolate, no alcohol. Even many vegetables we take for granted have been selectively bred for thousands of years and bear little resemblance to their wild ancestors. The prehistoric menu wasn't just uncooked, it was unfamiliar. The grocery store has quietly erased just how artificial most of our diet has become. So, what did humans eat before fire? Almost anything they could safely chew. Whatever the season offered, whatever the landscape provided, whatever delivered more calories than it cost to obtain. They weren't gourmets. They weren't carnivores. They weren't vegetarians. They were survivors. Flexible enough to eat insects one day, berries the next, shellfish after that, and marrow from a scavenged carcass when opportunity appeared. That flexibility became one of humanity's greatest evolutionary superpowers. Because while other species specialized, we adapted. Then, one evening, someone learned how to control fire. Suddenly, food became softer, safer, more nutritious, more digestible. The day didn't get longer. But humans suddenly had more usable energy inside the same 24 hours. More energy to think, to invent, to tell stories around a campfire, to imagine futures that didn't yet exist. Cooking didn't simply change dinner. It changed the human species. And every meal you've ever eaten is still part of that ancient discovery.